Okay, so if this popped up on your feed or you're drawn to this video, um, you've been going through your desert season for years, the dark night of the soul. Things have been very barren, and God put you in isolation so He could build a closer relationship with you. And when I was in the woods earlier today, in the pre-shuffle, two of the cards that came out was a deep knowing and a change in the wind. So you can feel this change. It's been a long time coming, and this new change is going to bring the sun back into your life, okay? You went through trial by fire for years, okay? You've been tested. Your strength has been tested on a very deep level, to where maybe at times you've even felt like giving up. But when you're one of God's children, that just isn't an option, because God is always going to prop you up and give you strength even when you think you don't. So just know that you're always guided in all these tests and trials, in this desert season of your life, was to help build your character and your strength, to build the container so that God can pour into you. And you may feel like the whole world has been on your shoulders, and soon you're going to see how much of a blessing this has been, that you're going to find how truly grateful you are for who you've become. And now you know that no matter what, there's a purity in you. Okay, so just know that the seraphim angels, they have all four eyes on you, okay? They're watching you, protecting you through all of this. And the reason that you have such fierce protection is because you went through the fire yourself, and your soul's been cleansed of all these impurities. Okay? Just you're in this world, but you're not of it. Okay, you're a starseed. And Spirit really wants you to see that and know that all this wasn't just to break your spirit. It's not. The devil doesn't have power over you. God only allows what is for your highest good and to help you build strength. So we got the void. Yeah, you've been in the void for a long time. Okay, so stop, embrace winter, the cosmic womb. Okay, you've been in this space for a long time in Earth School. Okay, you've really been learning the hardest lessons. Maybe you've been feeling, wondering why me, and God doesn't want you to get stuck in that energy, because it disempowers you. And called Soul Gifts and Training, it's time to step up. Yeah, see, you went down. I'm kind of seeing the imagery here, You came down to be human, to learn, your true essence, and learn what you're not, right? We have to experience the darkness, before the light. But now you're passing into this portal, a whole new life. And in the pre-shuffle, it was crazy because the wind was in literally 3 different cards. So the other combo that came out was wind and fire. And with those combined, they come with a message that a project, a passion, a desire is about to set fire, like rapid, like a forest fire. So just know beautiful changes are coming. And when you hear that, you might have felt your heart sink, because you've had such a hard life. Like maybe even since the day you were born, you're just born into some really toxic environments. And this wasn't punishment. And I just saw 444 on the timer of this video when I looked up. Yeah, it was to build your strength and your stability. Something that really helps me is it's not happening to you, it's happening for you, right? Writing or a person's legacy. Yeah, whatever you're working on, it's about to set fire. Like, it's gonna happen quick. And you've probably been getting these signs, so this video is another confirmation. Wow. I'm sure you heard how loud that came out and abruptly. Authority and power. Yeah, you've been taught by society, family, so many people around you have tried to dim this power and authority that you have. And so now it's like created this subconscious fear of your own power. Okay, and God had to really, you may have just recently went through an initiation where your fears were actually instantly manifesting in your external reality. And this was God's work to help you purge from this. We just went through the Lionsgate portal and then the eclipses. And I know for me, that was literally the most intense time of my entire life. And that's saying a lot because I'm Life Path 5. And I am like the epitome of that. My whole life has been a lot of suffering and a lot of change and abrupt, chaotic endings, you know, but always lead to new beginnings. But this was all to just give you strength and understand your own patterns, understand your own shadow. Okay, and God also had to test to make sure. But you already know. God already knew you passed all these tests, okay? So a lot of this was for you to witness yourself also, right? It's like a co-creation. But Spirit knows that without a shadow of doubt that you're someone that will yield this power in a benevolent way for the highest good of all. Okay? And everyone around you knows this too, and this is why they've tried to bring you down so much. And it's just because that you made them feel small, and that's their own issue to deal with. That's not even for us to even try to figure out. They should be focusing on themselves. Harvesting of rewards. Beautiful. I'm seeing 6. Maybe you've been in the dark night of your soul for 6 years like me. Well, honestly, my whole life, but really, truly getting into it and really cultivating this relationship with God and myself, you know, and then falling back in old ways and back and forth. And all this had to happen for a reason. None of these setbacks were in vain. Everything happens for a reason, okay? So it seems backward, but it's almost a blessing for how much darkness you went through. Because now it's going to be a testimony as you step into this new life. And you're really going to be able to see yourself clearly and know and feel that you truly deserve this. I just love this, like, harvesting of the rewards. And where I'm at, it's actually fall, you know. Summer just ended, so you're in flow with the seasons now. No matter where you are in the world, you're finally in the flow. And within yourself and your external reality. And so you're going to really start seeing these rewards. And, you know, maybe you're someone that, you know, finds value in the hard work, and you prove that to yourself, and we're done with that cycle now. We got this angel, I don't know how to say it. But with the vulture here, it's like you may have really been misjudged your whole life, and when you were going through this dark night of your soul and this darkness and the purging, a lot of people may have judged you, or maybe you judged yourself, and that manifested and other people judging you, but it's like a part of your soul is so deep that you did come here to clean up things that people don't want to look at within yourself and the world around you. Because really, it's all really about your inner life. Like, this last initiation and awakening I went through is just like, I'm still integrating how much most of this is an illusion and how much we actually really do create our reality, and that is all within the mind, you know. And there's this co-creation also, though, because I don't like to say this just within the mind, because there's so much that our human, like humanity, the mind of humanity, not just us, that even collectively we can't fully grasp. Like the laws of the universe. But one law that's about to work out for you is the law of compensation. Just notice the 4 legs here is, you know, you're really about to step into your abundance, and there's a lot of gold in this card. He has golden wings. All this, these hardships brought wisdom, okay? Wisdom doesn't come from a soft, easy life. And so you come to really learn and cherish and be grateful actually for all these lessons and initiations and awakenings, because the spiritual path is not easy, it's not pretty, okay? And anyone who betrays it to be like that, well, they may just be on a different path than us, right? But part of your soul really did come here to clean up for your ancestors, even. Like, you're a generational curse breaker. You may come from a very toxic family with very toxic patterns that you may not even fully be conscious of how deep this goes. So just know that God never gives you more than you can handle. And I want to look up what this angel is about. Glory. The angel of presence. Okay. He's the voice of God. Do not compare yourself to others, nor listen to criticism or judgment from those who chose to remain closed to their own hearts. Likewise, do not judge another. Listen to the voice of God within to know the right course of action to take. Yeah, because earlier I stopped myself because comparison really does disempower us. Okay, and that's what's brought you a lot of hurt, is just these things around you. It would be helpful to look up Carl Jung, shadow projection, because if you're drawn to this channel, you're about to experience a very deep awakening about just how powerful your mind is. And you know, the whole matrix and these limits and the Satyrian energy and the devil energy, all of that was to help, you know, like how you plant a seed in the ground. It's like for that plant to cherish when it finally breaks through into the sun, it's like it had to know the opposite. And so it's like honor these structures, these limitations, these tests and trials, because the gift from it is like gratitude. And now you're awake, and soon you're going to be walking so awake and aware in the light that it's just like, it's going to be amazing. You know, there aren't words, because for you to be awake and through a lot of this darkness and conscious and so aware, just imagine taking your consciousness now into the light. It's going to just be something you've never experienced. I just heard for some of you, even on a soul level, like, this is an ancestral thing. And you may know or be aware that, like, one of your ancestors closely works through you. They may have even worked through bringing many physical signs of their presence to you in a very special, personal way to you. I love to hear comments about that, because I know I have. Even if you haven't met them, but you knew of them, maybe you look just like them and you never knew it, because again, you may have grown up with toxic family. And when people, a lot of times, you know, when we're planted in the darkness, the unconscious, they're really just teachers for us, right? Just like the hard experiences. My solar plexus just got a lot of pain when I said that. They've really been drawing from your energy and like siphoning it. Because there comes a time where once you hit this level where, you know, you've passed the test, you've passed the karma, you know, if these people don't understand to leave you alone, that's when God will step in with divine intervention. Or if maybe you're not setting strong enough boundaries. So God's really asking you to do energy work, so that no one is able to siphon your energy anymore. Okay, our awareness and our boundaries are what get us out of victim mode. And then we got Persephone. Yeah, the birds, you may really connect with birds and get messages through them. Self-care. Yeah, take time for yourself. We need to be feeling good about ourselves in order to live in our totality. Sometimes we spend too much time fixing people in the world and forget about ourselves. Wow. And that was crazy because my solar plexus, like, there's people in your life that are really depleting you, and your ancestors are coming, like, maybe that's why you've had to have such intense breakdowns and tower moments, is because, like I said, it happened for you because you weren't seeing how much these people were taking advantage of your light. Like vampiric energies. Yeah. It's sad, but ooh. These are coming out so loud about power, authority, and boundaries. Yeah. So now that you're aware, okay, once we get the awareness, insight, and the wisdom, and we truly know how precious our light is, okay, we're not comparing. We know we have that light within us. Then it's our responsibility to protect it. Okay? We're like the warriors of God, the warriors of light. And our main job is to stay at peace and feel good within ourselves and protect that light and keep the vampires out. Love yourself enough to say no to others' demand on your time and energy. You're really being asked to set boundaries, cut out people that are toxic, that you know. God has shown you enough signs now that if you allow them back in and repeat the same cycle, you know, there's only so many times God can keep coming in. And I mean, actually, I just got corrected. God never gives up on his children, but it's going to get harder, heavier. And I can say that from my own experience because I've watched myself. You know, I've been going through the same cycle with the same people in different ways, you know, but for years. And finally cutting them out is so hard, and it's even went into my dreams. So it's like when these energies, even if they're not consciously doing it, you've created such a strong karmic tie with these people that part of their energy is trying to get to you subconsciously even. So allow that to come up in your dreams. That isn't a sign that you need to go back or any of that. It just means they're tugging on your energy still. Okay, you cut them out in your conscious life. It still has to purge, you know, subconsciously, consciously. So allow that. Okay, on the back, guardian, you and your loved ones are safe and spiritually protected on the bottom of the deck. Yeah. God's going to protect your dreams too. And Like your subconscious is going to be put through this purifying fire also. Okay? Your guides are so proud of you. Like you have an ancestor, like a motherly or maternal ancestor that is so proud of you. Wow. That leap of faith and sensitivity. You're becoming increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships, environments, situations, and chemicals. Take a risk and put your heart's true desire into action. Yeah, you honor your sensitivity. And once you start doing that, and I've made my biggest act of self-care and self-love now is saying no. And I'm realizing I used to hear that all the time, and I thought I was just kind of playing myself, like, oh, I'm the, everyone wants to think that they're the too nice person, but it's like, once you, which I'm not, I can be both, but I'm just realizing how big my heart is, and how much I would like to just give people chances after chances. And it's like, the reality of it is, now that I'm like went through so many awakenings, it's like I used to play dumb with myself and like let these people say ridiculous things like to my face and act like it didn't happen because I love them. And so you may be like that too. That's what I know. I just jumbled all that, but that's what I was trying to get at. It's like, honor your sensitivity, okay? Don't let people that bring your energy down around you, okay? And then that will allow you to channel your sensitivity into projects, passions, hobbies, heading towards the light, growing your wings. See, I want to see a question that your higher self wants to ask you right now. Oh, we got two. Deep inward journey, you'll be rewarded for the work. How can you alchemize your fear? Yeah, wow. As a starseed being planted into unconscious environments, and even our own unconscious shadows that are being projected into the people, place, things around us. It's like our soul is so old that now when we come to earth, it's like our fears like can almost instantly manifest into the people, places, and things around us. It's that deep to where our soul growth is just so, it's like there aren't words. If you're drawn to my channel, you've experienced this. And it's like words only skim the surface. You can make it through. Your higher self is always guiding you. It's funny because I said I want to see what your higher self wants to ask you. It's funny. Your guides have humor, Spirit wants you to see the humor too. And all this, you're going to start, like when I said that, I felt resistance. What I want to say is you're going to start finding more humor, because you're going to start feeling this lightness, because this really was the final last purge. Because I just said because so many times, but it's hard to put words to these deep shamanic journeys that we've been on. What wisdom does your higher self have for you? Things are truly reflecting to you. That's why I just heard, like, you're realizing how much power you have. Oh my. Once you let go of this fear, it's just, there are no words. It's going to be so magical. Your whole life is going to be pure magic. And you just had to go through this darkness, because it somehow, the way I see it, is like the devil, all these like toxic structures and institutions and stuff, like grounded us so that we could see that this is a co-creation and that we're safe and we're guided. As weird as that sounds, I remember when I had my first awakening, I remember after I came out of it, because it was like the first awakening I had, it lasted 2 weeks. It was freaking terrifying. I thought I was going to lose my mind. I thought I had lost my mind. But you have to lose it to find it, right? But it's like, I remember after that, I was on such a high for like 2 weeks straight. It was insane. It was like a psychedelic shamanic journey for 2 weeks. Time wasn't real for 2 weeks. And I don't remember when it first started or when it ended, even to this day. And that was my first lesson, was about time. But after that, I just remember thinking that it would almost, like, it's funny I had this thought, because it's like we're playing peekaboo with ourselves and God, but I remember thinking like that I would actually be worried if everything just started working out for me, because maybe I was crazy or delusional, you know? So these trials, these hardships are actually showing us that like there's a larger there's this great divine intelligence, you know, that is in charge of everything. You know, God is truly within everything, the dark and the light. And we have to go through this darkness. That's why the natural, you know, we're shown with the earth that everything, you know, that grows starts in the ground, you know, to ground it. I hope this is clicking, because, yeah, this is what popped out, though, is gratitude. You're gonna start stepping into, like, pure gratitude for everything you've went through. Because now when you step into the light, you'll know that it is true, it is real, it is grounded. Your magic, your spirituality is going to take a level of groundedness that you've never felt, which sounds backward, but, you know, spirit works in mysterious ways. I'm just getting, wow, I don't know, I just feel so, yeah, look at this path. It's like the union of both, the yin and yang. It's like outside of this earthly realm that feels so constricted and governed by time and structure. It's like above all that, these opposites actually love each other. I love that. I can feel a real, beautiful light. It's like we're finally coming out of the deep shamanic journeys, and now it can, you know, it's grounded us and shown us that we are co-creating. Maybe you need to hear that too. Because at the beginning of my journey, that was like 6 years ago, my first awakening, to now, it's like, it's actually 4 years ago when I had that first huge awakening. But I'm getting really distracted because I'm just feeling this like really spiritual, but for once more of a light, you know, energy flowing through me. But it's like now you're going to be able to be a shaman of the light and balancing both worlds. That's what a shaman, a true shaman really is. They're like the portal between two worlds. And so you're stepping into that. And this is on the back of the deck, I was just seeing, like, you know, this is a tree being reflected, but, you know, also just looks like roots. And at the core, you know, is heat, and above us is the sun. It's just, you're really coming into balance, finally. Like, you finally passed this karmic cycle. I feel it with my whole being right now. Like, you've unified your field. In the pre-shuffle, I also split the deck right at mother and father. Like, you've healed your mother and father wounds. Maybe that's why you had to have such a dark childhood. It's like, your soul is so deep, it really had to guide itself in this lifetime fully. Okay, so these mother and father wounds weren't to break your spirit or your heart. It was to find that the truth that God is in everything and that everything happens for a purpose. As I was saying that, yeah, flower of life, everything is connected. But within that, this is another huge lesson I've learned. Within that, boundaries are still so important, because as you're a human, you know, the gift is to have your own entity and be in control of your own energy while also being a part of the whole. So that was a huge lesson with my first awakening. I kind of just melted into my environment, and it was just like there were no boundaries. And it's like there's that level of spirituality and spirit, and it's like that may be your soul too. It may be very etheric, and so you had to come down to earth with really hard lessons. You had to be planted really deep in the unconscious, the dark, the soil, the earth, because your energy is so high vibrational, if that makes sense. Attunement, find the alignment. You have found the alignment. And I just counted the 6 here. It's like you're about to get reciprocity, vision, expanded perspective. I love this. Because you can see, like I was just talking about, melding into your environment, but it's like these 4, you know, like the 4 directions, you know, the earth. You came here to find that boundary so that you can be yourself within everything. Because without these boundaries, you wouldn't be able to create this beautiful, you know, unique design. Okay. I don't want to make this too long, so... Ooh, the fairy. You have a very fairy-like spirit, you know, and they can be as vicious as they are sweet, and honor that within yourself. Princess Spring, charming, self-confident, passionate, restless, immediate action, a challenge you can successfully manage. Yeah. And this is fire, okay? You are about to get a huge burst of energy. Okay, all these trials by fire that you went through, and like in past lives, it may have been more literal, and that's something you had to work through in this lifetime, is realizing that in that past life, your fears were so strong that it, you know, just like you think about medieval times, like all humans were going through really hard physical lessons, and it's like now we're evolving, and now we're hitting the level of ascension. We're realizing that as long as we stay in alignment and in love and God, you know, at this level of evolution, I'm not speaking across all boards, I'm speaking for whoever is on my vibration. If you're on the same wave as me that came in, okay, we're at the point where we're realizing how protected we are at this point, and that we came here to learn the power of our mind. The Emperor, an 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Autumn. Wow. Okay. Whatever you're working on is about to bring you stability. And the 4 again. This whole message is really about grounding the magic in. Okay, you're at a point where your consciousness can handle miracles. Okay. That's why we had to go through such hardships, is to know the opposite and know that we are co-creating with a very benevolent, all-knowing, all-seeing God. Trust. I'm kind of feeling called to just pull out a bunch of cards quickly to end this. Opportunity and 6th house. Craft. Look, 6 again. Reciprocity. You're about, the law of compensation is real, and humans can't fully understand. Anyone that tries to tell you this or that, just know the law of compensation is beyond what our minds can see. Okay, but God has been watching every single tear fall out of your eyes. God has felt your pain. God has seen everything that's been done behind closed doors to your energy. And you're about to get reciprocity. And it might be hard for you to believe that because you went through so much pain. But it's because you're such a deep soul and you carry so much weight and power in this world. Wow, open doors, promises. Okay, purification, work, details, health. Wow. Okay, so I want to get a message for your dreams. Create. Okay, so I want to get a message for your dreams. They're like, no. Like, your dreams are going to manifest. And then the last card we had the paint too. So some of you might be very artsy, very creative, okay? You are a creator too, okay? God is within you. He's a part, this great, grand, benevolent, loving, and all-knowing being is also within you, a part of you. Release all fears of the past, okay? They were there to teach you and ground you, okay? But you're beyond that now. You are such a deep soul. You've had so many lifetimes. Trust. No, this is a different timeline, a different life. We are in different times. And time isn't even real. Your soul's just, it's ready for this. A Samhain sending. What is in that jar? Oh, a candle. See? Your light is so protected. This reminds me of the hermit. So you may be a loner too, because when you're alone, you're with God. You never, like, you feel most at peace when you're alone. And that's beautiful, okay? Don't let the world tell you different. I know a lot of us went through the phase where we felt shame for that. Somehow the solitary witch, that's funny, that's the first word. That's the name of this deck, but you know, it doesn't say solitary in all the cards. Found herself alone in a great old vibrant city, this Samhain. She wanted to wander the streets and see the people who live there, to study their faces and feel their desires, their needs, to wonder about their stories and heartbreak. She craved feeling the heartbeat of a place where there's art and creativity and music and museums and galleries. Yeah, and I was just talking about the art coming out. Beautiful. She's listened to poetry read by thin bards with black beards, watched magic flow from the hands of guitarists, and stood in awe before paintings she has dreamt of seeing. As she soaks up the darkness and moonlight, one raven calls her to hurry home, and soon. Those who she calls companions at home, the fox and the raven, the oaks and the deep silver lakes, want her back with them, for they can feel the stirring of what is to come. And so she will heed them and savor one last night in the mad, beautiful human world. This is hitting me so deeply right now. Because I started the message off that you've been feeling this deep knowing, okay? And you know that this last awakening you went through was like the totality of all your other awakenings coming to a conclusion. And you can see now all the ones before were steps, giving you a little bit to integrate before this last one, so you know that you're really about to leave behind these desert landscapes, these empty people, places, and things, okay? You want to feel God pulsing within yourself and your environment so deeply. She will heed them and savor one last night in the mad, beautiful human world, in the creative outpourings that can be amongst the best our humanity has to offer. But on the morrow she will return, for her heart's work is a calling, and only she knows the way of the land that calls her by her true name. I can't even explain how deeply that just hit me. A messenger or message to call you back to your true work. A beautiful break from routine comes to an end. What has been gifted will stay with you always in enriching time. Prepare for a serious period, earnest work. Responsibilities are also a joy and a reminder of where your heart lies. We got the Eight of Pentacles, that's about work, and the Emperor, stability. You are about to step into a whole nother level of responsibility that you actually want to carry. This isn't a responsibility that's been put on you by humans or, old programming. So this is God. I feel like so poetic right now, like, Vince Van Gogh vibes. Wow. Beautiful. You're a beautiful soul, okay, if you're resonating with this. Okay, expect miracles.